Yo, it's your boy DG and welcome back to Vampyr. This is part 9, if I'm correct. 9? Yeah, I think it's 9. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before we hop into the video, I want to mention one other thing. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you already haven't. And make sure to comment, well, anything you want to. I'm not going to tell you what to comment. You have a freedom of speech. Anyway, let's hop back into it. I have a couple things I want to do before we continue to the next objective. I want to talk to some people, try and cure them if I can. I want to get some other dialogue going before we actually continue the story. So I'll jump cut between the traveling, of course. I'm not going to let y'all watch me travel the entire time. So yeah, let's get back into it. So the first person I want to talk to is Piper Hawkins right here. She has a cold and I want to see if I can heal it right now. So let's see if I can get rid of that right now. Is there anything I can talk to her about? No, I don't know how to do it. But you can see.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
There we go. Yeah, I'm about to say, I have the medicine for it.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Why did he say it like that?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
So that's how you give them the medicine. All you have to do is press R1 and then you can just give them the medicine. Okay. Because I have a bunch of cold medicine I want to give to everybody. Yeah, she is fatigued. No, I have fatigue medicine. A lot of people have fatigue here, so I want to get rid of that quickly before we move on. What was that?
You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize.
All right.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
So, let's ask you some questions first before we continue this.
Tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick.
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Of course. We're not gonna ask about our wealth.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Oh, you can still act.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
Oh, lucky you. That is awesome. And you're a widow. Okay, didn't know that.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Oh.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
She charged you for a bed. Why?
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
That's a little bit suspect. I don't know why you would charge her. Even though she's rich, you shouldn't be charging her for a bed that everybody else is getting for free.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Oh,
Goswick.
no. I meant to ask her about the medicine thing.
Good evening, Doctor.
My bad.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
I'm gonna mess with.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Let's go.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Alright, so she's healthy now. I want to try and heal as many people as I can before I get out of here. I also want to try and record like maybe 3 videos of this tonight. I might try and push 3. And maybe 2 videos of Bioshock. I'm trying to get as many as possible. I don't want to give too much medicine away because I'm going to have to craft more. I think I like 4.
Good evening, Doctor.
And that's me giving away 1 already. So I got like 3 more.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Now it's not the
Goodbye,
questions.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Alright, we're gonna heal, what's his name? Where's he at? It's that, black dude over there. We can heal Milton. I guess you kinda deserve it. Maybe.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
There's a couple questions I got for him, though. So... what else was it? Ooh, your reputation. I've already asked him about extorting money, so we already know about that. Let's ask him about his reputation first.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody's as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. Well, thanks, anyway.
Alright, so that's how you unlock the trade again. Okay. I think we've already... yeah, we've already talked about everything else we need to.
Goodbye,
so.
Milton.
Got one other person I want to heal before I dip. Oh, I did want to heal Thomas, too. I'm gonna do that off camera. I'm not gonna level up or anything this episode, because if you level up, it's gonna go to the next night. So I don't want to ruin that. Because if you stay the night, it'll keep everybody's current state the same. So I don't want to mess it up. Where is he at? I think he's on the other side. It's one black guy. Yeah, you. There we go.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Any questions? I don't think there's any questions I want to ask you. Yep, just about your medicine.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
No problem at all, man.
Goodbye, Mr.
Keep up the good work. We appreciate you here. Alright, so I think that's all I want to do for now. Let's go back to the actual mission. I will see you guys there. I'm not gonna lie, you scared me. So find Clayton in the area. Alright, so find Clayton, Darby, find Richard, Nethercott, and find the inhabitants in the Whitechapel. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you for the information, Mr. Peterson. Who are you?
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse
There.
of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Oh, man.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Oh, so she's putting you out of business pretty much. Huh. Interesting. I think that was it.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Wait, do you have any actual made medicine or something?
Fancy?
You never...
What do you
Right
have?
then. Show me what you
I
have.
just want to see what he has before I go. Oh, you just have a bunch of supplies and stuff. Nah, I'm good. Never mind. Another one. Those are common now, actually. We got a used hatchet. Does it mean I can make upgrade? Yeah, I can make upgrade now, right? Sweet. A used hatchet and a clay hatchet are different things. I can't use the clay hatchet to upgrade my used hatchet. Well, the used hatchet upgrade my clay hatchet. That's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna go fight him right quick, and we're going to what level is he? He level 10. Let's take him out. Sheesh, okay. Easy. I gotta remember to switch weapons eventually, because I do want to show you the other weapon I equipped. Alright, so I don't know where he could be. Oh, come on. Whoa, what is that? Really? Alright. Now I'm just trapped in a corner. This that BS. Love how you said killing's all you deserve. That's all you deserve is a straight claw to your face.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir.
Harry.
My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Wait, are you the guy I talked to before? Is that the guy I saw before when he shot? I think it is. I don't really. Why? My bad. I love how I'm just working on this house, just taking stuff. This gonna be a loading screen just for talking to somebody, bro. It's gonna be a loading screen just talking to somebody, isn't it? Yep, nice long loading screen. Thank you so much.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Dang, Harry.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I?
Not at all.
I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Not really. It looks pretty broken down. I mean, I guess you do have a place to call home.
You have a roof over your head? A place to call home? Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Dang. Sheesh, man.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
You should go out more even though you're sick? What?
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself, Peter. I said Peter.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Jesus Christ, Harry. That boy depressed. Bro, is anybody else home? He's just by himself? He's really just by himself. Okay. And I'm just walking through his house. So casually. Let me get out of this depressing house. This is depressing. Okay, so we met Harry Peterson.
Hard to believe, but this district has always been
You're
wretched.
late. Where's my money?
Let your guard down, sir.
Turn up. You again? What do you want this time?
So Harry Peterson, Joe Peterson, okay. And his father's outside trying to get money, I guess? Or get his pay?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Interesting.
This district has always been wretched. And let your guard down.
What in the world is freaking... Where is Clayton, bro? I haven't seen Clayton yet. Who are you? Don't tell me it was one of... This is one of the players, isn't it? This is one of the people, isn't it? This has to be the Whitechapel, right? Right behind them? I saw that whole building right behind them. That has to be Whitechapel.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
Father Whitaker. Yep.
Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
Beginning of the end?
Is
Come on,
finally
bro.
revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
I feel like I would say I've heard enough, but
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
how exactly will you cleanse the city?
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
This dude is really on some weird stuff.
Science and progress are our only hope against the monstrosity hidden behind this epidemic.
See, Doctor? Now you acknowledge the presence of evil within the city's walls. Now you start to admit the truth.
Hint failed. Come on, man. So you can fail hints if
What
you
do you
actually.
mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All
Oh, my bad.
scientists are entangled in a world of causes and
I can't skip.
consequences.
I can't skip.
And most of them can't see the plain
can't skip.
truth.
Quite. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son.
Disciple.
He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Son of my preaching crusade. Where do you send your son?
Where did you send
My bad, your
I sent Samuel
so-called
to the
son.
Stonebridge Cemetery,
Samuel.
where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Wow, okay.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
I don't think it was it.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Excuse me, sir. Are you
Clayton,
familiar
let's
with
go.
this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry,
Finally.
I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I'm gonna speak to him and then we're going to end the episode for this. Jeez, a lot of questions.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Oh.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
You risk your life here to reveal the truth.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Okay.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Alright, I respect the grind. Respect the grind. Was that it? These are the personal questions.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really?
Oh, wow.
How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Oh, dang.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Alright. I think that was all the questions we need to really ask him.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Alright, I think I'm ending the episode here because I've been recording for a little bit longer than I expected. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to share it if you already haven't. Did I say subscribe? Make sure to subscribe button before you leave. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, of course, make sure to click on the video either above my head or click on the playlist to the side to catch up to whoever you've already missed. And yeah, until next time, peace. Banger.